Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Amy Astley, Head of Communications for Walt Disney Animation Studios, and it is my honor to welcome you to the Raya and the Last Dragon press junket and this very special press conference for Walt Disney Animation Studios' first theatrical short in 5 years, Us Again. Set in a vibrant city pulsating with rhythm and movement, an elderly man and his young at heart wife rekindle their youthful zeal for life and one another on one magical night. The years fade away as the joy of dancing propels them across the exciting landscape of their youth and revives fond memories and ambitions. Us Again debuts in theaters March 5th with Raya and the Last Dragon, and then on Disney Plus in June. Please welcome our panelists for today, and remember to place your questions in the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, as we will try to get as many of your questions as we can. Our first two panelists are incredible choreographers and dancers who have been featured on series including World of Dance, Dancing with the Stars, So You Think You Can Dance, many others. They've collaborated with artists such as Justin Bieber and Billie Eilish. And please welcome this couple who's both a couple on the dance floor and a couple in life, Keone and Mari. And you can turn, there they are. Hi, Keone and Mari. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Great, so thank you so much for being here with us today. Us Again producer, Brad Simonson, has served as associate producer on Ralph Breaks the Internet and Oscar-winning films Zootopia and Big Hero 6. Please welcome Brad.
Hi, everybody.
Good to see you, Brad. Director Zach Parrish has been an animator with Disney Animation for 11 years. He was head of animation on the Oscar-winning Big Hero 6, and he was director of the short circuit film Puddles. He has a thing about water, I've noticed. It's brilliant. Please welcome director Zach Parrish.
Hi, everybody.
So Zach, let's start off with you and tell us about the origin of this short.
Sure. When I was coming up with ideas, we pitched 4 ideas actually in the development process, but this idea in particular came from a time in my life when I was kind of struggling with the changes that go along with aging. I was kind of, bemoaning my aging body. I'm not a super old person, but I was starting to recognize those changes in myself. And it kind of led me to these conversations that I would have with my mom, where she would always talk about all the great things that she was going to do when she grew up. And it really made me stop and realize that I kind of had my priorities wrong. I was looking in the wrong direction. And if I'm always looking in the past, then I'm going to miss the beauty in the now. And I'm old by my own definition, and she's young by hers. And so that idea of youth being a state of mind really got my gears turning, and I really thought it'd be fun to do a Fountain of Youth story.
Amazing. And the music for this short is so incredible. Brad, can you tell us about the score for this?
Absolutely. Yeah, we were, as we started the process, Zach knew that the foundation of this had to be the music. Choreography and music were the foundation of the short. And Tom McDougall, who is head of music at Disney Animation, brought in Pinar Toprak, who did Captain Marvel. She did the score. What we didn't know at the time is that actually, although Pinar is amazing at doing scores, she loves funk. So the vision for this was always to have a funk soul, old and now feeling, and she brought it. And she was such an incredible collaborator. It's wonderful.
And you're right, combined with this beautiful music is the beautiful dance we see in this. Keone and Mari, when did you first join the project? And what was it about joining a Disney animation project that was special for you?
Well, I believe we came in around April-ish. I could be wrong. April of 2019. I remember because I think I was about 6 months pregnant on our first meeting when we came in. And I mean, it's just been like a dream. Oh, there's the baby there.
Yes, we have one extra panelist today. That you
yeah, it's really like a dream, and still surreal that we got to work with Disney Animation. We're huge Disney fans. We've been since we were kids. I mean, yeah, I keep saying it, but like I still am pitching myself. I can't wait to be able to like see the short and see people enjoy it. And yeah.
So we have a lot of questions from our audience, and thank you guys for sending these in. Don't forget to put them in the Q&A if you can. Alex from Laughing Place, hi Alex, was wondering if you looked at any silent films or interpretive dance choreographers, hello Keone and Mari, for inspiration to convey the story of this short with no dialogue. Zach, do you kind of want to talk about what drew you to Keone and Mari, and then Keone and Mari, if you can talk about your inspirations, that would be great.
Yeah, it's a great question. Thanks, Alex. We looked at all kinds of reference. You know, I'm a huge animation nerd. I'm a huge film nerd, and so we looked at all kinds of reference. And there's a long history at Disney of using dance as a medium to express story. You know, going back to Mickey shorts and things like that. We even got to attend an event at the Academy Theater that was about eccentric dance and animation and their intersection. And so we looked at a lot of that stuff. I also looked at a lot of Fantasia reference because it's amazing the storytelling that they did in those short films without dialogue, driven mostly by music and movement. And so as I was thinking of this idea for the film and knowing that I wanted to do the entire thing through dance, to Amy's question, it really sparked this memory of this video that I saw of this incredible couple online. I believe they were teaching at the time. And it was to Bob Marley's Is This Love? This Is Love. And they were dancing as an old couple. And it was perfect because as an animator, I'm very familiar with pose to pose animation, and their style of dance had this like perfect animation-ness to it. But also they have this incredible ability to tell stories with the way that they dance. And all dance is storytelling, but theirs was so deep and so emotional, and the connection between them was so visceral that it felt perfect for this film. And so from the very beginning, even when I was pitching the idea of the short, I was actually using examples of Keone and Mari as like, this is what I would love for it to look like if somebody can do this, never thinking that it would actually be Keone and Mari who would get to bring it to life.
Yeah, Keone and Mari, talk about your beautiful style of dance and your inspirations.
Yeah, well, for us, obviously we've been dancing for so long and choreographing, but one thing we're so passionate about is story. And just the marriage of the project was just instantaneous as soon as we heard what the ideas were. And we've been trying to tell stories through dance our entire careers, and we find that that's where Disney's power in animation or in storytelling is with animation. We feel like our power in storytelling is our dance style, and developing the characters and finding out how they would move, and all of those things were so important to us. We're usually projects that are like, okay, just choreograph to the set of music and then give it to the artist and that's it. But we usually don't get to use the other half of what we love to do, which is tell stories. So this was, again, just can't emphasize how much of a dream project this was.
It's amazing. Tati from Cool Moms asked this great question. It's a beautiful short that tugged at my emotions. What did you hope is the takeaway from this short for people who, and that question just disappeared from my Q&A, I apologize, but what do you hope audiences take away from this?
I think the idea for this short was always, it's something that I struggle with, and it shows up a little bit in Puddles, my previous short, but it's about taking that time to focus on what's truly important and what's around you and what makes your life beautiful. I think many people think that it's about being okay with aging, and sure, that's a part of it too. But I think the core of the idea is less about age, and it's more about any age not focusing on things that are holding you back, not focusing on the past, not focusing on anything that's distracting you from the beauty that is the world around you. And so and appreciating those who are on that journey with you and make your life beautiful. And so that's really where Dot's character really comes into play, is that she's encouraging Art to see that, but she's also that person who carries so much of the beauty of his world for him. And so hopefully all ages can take that away. And if nothing else, they just love to dance.
Wonderful. We have a question from Maximilian from Allocine, who I think we saw yesterday at the Raya French Junket. Hello again. How much were Keone and Mari's choreographies important in the writing process? Because dance is both at the heart and is the language of this short.
Yeah, you kind of hit the chicken and egg problem that we had with this film. We kind of had a turducken, if you will, because we had to have the music. To Brad's point, we had to have the music in order to inspire the dance. We had to have the story to inspire the dance, but we needed the dance to inspire the story. And so it really came around like that. So that's why Brad was smart enough to reach out to Keone and Mari as early on in the process as we did, because we met with them in April, and at that point we were pretty loose as far as what the story was. We were first pass of storyboards. And so we really wanted them to be partners with us all along the way, as far as where can we go and where can we not go, which their answer was pretty much you can go anywhere, because they're incredible. But specifically getting them into the characters and understanding what level of emotion we're going to be able to go to and what types of story we're going to be able to tell, which was amazing to have like their level of partnership throughout the entire process.
That's great. Sam from CBR asks, how did you develop the design for the couple themselves, both kinetically and how they move? And you can certainly talk to the animation and the choice of movements that you have there and the inspiration for Keone and Mari, and in terms of physical appearance.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we knew from the beginning that we wanted an interracial couple. I'm in an interracial relationship. And so from the beginning, and so is Brad, that's right. And so from the beginning, we knew we wanted to represent an interracial couple on screen. And we had some amazing character designers who came on, and we have an amazing group of people, artists and other employees within the building whose focus is on diversity and inclusion. And we met with them both in the design stage and actually all the way through the process of making the film. But we had some incredible character designers who came in and started to flesh out the style of the show. I wanted something that felt similar but different to our Disney style, and I wanted something that felt slightly miniature. I wanted something that was a little bit simpler in the design, a little bit less anatomy, things of that sort. And so we kind of gave that freedom to the character designers, and they came back with all kinds of amazing designs. And Art and Dot's final design really came down to kind of an amalgamation of a lot of different designs that our lead modeler really brought to life, and really tried to encapsulate their personalities and also their ethnicities.
Laura Silkiel, and hi Laura again, it's good to see you. Keone and Mari, how connected did you feel to the characters, especially since you're both also a beautiful dancing couple?
Oh, I mean, greatly. I think, in a way I'm sorry, that's our 1-year-old. She wants to answer the question. But no, I think just being a married couple, we can relate ourselves to what they're going through, not in the sense that we're old. Sorry.
We can come back to you if you want. Absolutely. Priorities for sure.
I think she just wanted to play with her toy. If you don't mind there being some sounds in the background. But anyways,
we've all been there.
I think, just, even the dichotomy of of Art not wanting to participate in the things that are happening around him. I think that sometimes as people who are in the dance world, we can kind of, scoff at the things of I don't want to participate in, those young dance events or these things or whatever, because I've been in this for so long, or you reach a certain age. And I think there's a relatability to that, and coming back to what you love and not relying upon the age or where you're at in your life to be in love with what's around you and being present. And that's in the message that Zach was talking about. But I think to that level, and then also, of course, the couple level.
Yeah. And then honestly, I have to say that when we came in and we saw it was an interracial couple, we were so happy and excited to see that. We're both children of interracial couples. So that was really meaningful too. And also just like obviously marriage and trying to be in the shoes and imagine having a marriage that long and a life that long with somebody, you know, and all the things like the comfort you have with somebody and also the like impatience you'll have with somebody, and you know, and that it's such a special moment that they find together of like reconnection. And that's so, I think that I would imagine happens over a marriage over and over and over at different points. And so really trying to connect to them, you know, was really awesome. Yeah.
There's a very special moment that as I hear Mari talk about, which is a video, Brad, that you showed me of the first time Keone and Mari were seeing. It wasn't the final version, but it's pretty close to the final. Maybe you guys, whomever, can kind of talk about these moments of where you're really getting to see that what you hoped it would be is coming to fruition. Brad, you want to talk about that video, or maybe it's
sure,
hard
sorry,
to talk about.
Yeah, we, you know, from the very beginnings, when Zach showed me the video of them dancing, I really said, well, why don't we just bring them in? Like, let's make a phone call and see if they'll come in and talk to us. And then they did, and we were super excited. And we brought them into the story room. We work in story rooms that have all the art up on it. So we had all kinds of inspirational art that Zach had been collecting for months. And we work in a way where we board and we look at kind of the design, the inspiration, and we try to create a feeling in the room, right? That room is kind of a holy place that we go to and work and build up the inspiration. And we brought them in, and they walked in and looked at the room, and then they sat down, and the designs weren't finalized at that time. And then Zach pitched them through a deck that he had, and they, I mean, I could kind of tell we hadn't made a deal yet. I could kind of tell they were in. Like, it was like there was a connection from the beginning that I could really see happening. And then we did. It was a, you know, it was a moment that we really, we kind of decided, hey, let's try to take them on this process. Like, let's, and from the beginning, we wanted to involve them as much as we could. So they came in several times and we looked at the characters together. We showed them different versions of the movie because as we work, we actually have different versions of the movie before it's finalized. And they were absolute partners, you know, and I was texting, you know, Keone and Mari as things were going on and asking their opinion on things and could this work, could that work? And then we got into the design, the sound design and score. And like Zach said, there was this chicken and egg problem where we were trying to do the score with Pinar. Normally you wait and do the score at the end of the movie and you have temp music in, but we knew that we needed the actual score. So Pinar was challenged to make the music for make a song for the movie without really having the movie yet. She had a very rough pass of what was not the final movie, and she was creating that. And then we were working to that and ultimately got that to Keone and Mari for choreography. We were sharing along the way to make sure we were all on the same path. But once they got the final music and had boards, it actually went really fast because we had been working for so long together. It was amazing.
And I think that really does kind of speak to kind of these like little peaks throughout the process of like, oh, I think this might work. Because again, in that chicken and egg thing, we would meet with Keone and Mari and we would talk about the dance and the story would get a little bit better and then the music would start to come together. And so with each one of those phases, I think it's like, I think this is going to work, because the whole thing felt a little bit experimental because you never had the final thing all together. And then when we got to a place where animation was mostly complete, and the music was temp as far as the instruments, but final as far as the actual arrangement, we got to share with Keone and Mari, and actually they got to see what their dance looks like on our characters through animation. Didn't have lighting and all of the fanciness on it yet, but just to kind of see how our characters could, our hope, encapsulate their dance and their personalities and everything as much as possible.
Yeah, I again had the privilege of seeing that video, and the motion on your faces, Keone and Mari, as you are watching the animation. Just one of those special moments in this very iterative back and forth process to see how it was touching you.
Oh, we were crying at opening credits. So, it didn't take much. As soon as we saw the Mickey animation, we're like, oh my God, we made one of these. What the heck? No, but to truly see, it was one thing to, create the dance and all this stuff, but it's like seeing two of your students, your dance students, just like take your choreography to another level. Like there's, a feeling of that watching it too, because, Art and Dot truly are their own people and their own expressions, their own mannerisms and all the things. And that's where, the magic of the animators came in to take our choreography to another level. And that was just, just so amazing, to see, we were a little worried, like would our choreography, would our dance style work in animation? And to have that confirmation was definitely overwhelming emotionally, as well as the story being, powerful.
Yeah, and then we're very detail oriented in our choreography, like really nitpicky, detail oriented people, and the animators just did such a beautiful job of paying attention to all those things and capturing them, and it was just beautiful to see, and an honor, and very overwhelming.
I would just jump in to say that when, because Keone and Mari did actually say that to me at one point. I can't remember the context of the conversation, but they're like, yeah, we're really detailed about how we work. And I said, yeah, Zach's that way too. So I think you guys are going to get along pretty well.
We have a great question from Amanda Taylor. I love the concept of taking this into a rainstorm to appreciate living once again. What inspired that concept of the rain in the short?
Sure. I knew I wanted to do a Fountain of Youth story, and as I was thinking about that, I was trying to think of what would be an interesting way of doing that. And like you said, Amy, I guess I have a thing for rain and puddles and such. But
there's a few questions about that here too. So yeah,
I bet there are. Yeah, this is the sequel or the prequel, maybe. I don't know. I guess for me, growing up in the Midwest, rain is this very kind of joyful thing. When I was a kid, playing in the rain, that's where puddles came from. It's this very youthful activity for me anyways. I know it's a little bit different for people here in LA. But for me growing up, it was such a joy to go out and to play in the rain. And so when thinking about water mechanisms as this fountain of youth, the rain just felt like this perfect fit in that it makes you feel like a kid again. And so using that to inspire the actual transition of the characters felt perfect. And then it also felt really good to me to have that be this night of passion and rediscovery for this couple who are just out there being kids together and getting to be themselves again. And that's why the short is called Us Again. It's kind of from multiple perspectives. It's from Art's perspective and from Dot's perspective, in that there's a physical us again, but there's also an emotional us again, in that their relationship is back by the end, that they are back to being who they are emotionally by the end. They are us again at the end. It's not about becoming young, but there's that moment where you go, oh, I guess this is about becoming young again. And it's like, no, it's actually about emotionally being true to who you are and recognizing that world around you.
So there's a great question here from Tanya that I don't know the answer to. Are there any Easter eggs in Us Again?
Oh man, there's a lot actually, but a lot of it is, we yes, we have physical elements from other films, as far as the set dressing and things like that. We also have Fantasia is actually playing Rhapsody in Blue, which is one of the big inspirations for Us Again, is actually playing on the movie screen in the background during one of the montage shots. It goes by very, very quickly, but I wanted to kind of have a tip of the hat to that film in there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Brad, you're gonna have to help me. I know there's set dressing in the apartment from our other films. I'm pretty sure there's a Tangled like Stein that we got as a crew gift that's sitting on a shelf somewhere. and then a lot of the decoration within the apartment is very specific, not necessarily Disney Easter eggs, but very specific in design.
I think you got most of them. Yep.
Isn't the pier at the end too?
Yeah, we reference the Santa Monica Pier a lot for that, as well as you know, looking at places like Seattle that has kind of a big pier with a big Ferris wheel and things like that. And so we wanted it to be evocative of, but not necessarily a replication of any of those places.
Yeah, I was curious about this because I thought I caught some Easter eggs. I was like, wait, I think that pier looks like this or that. So I'm here also interviewing you, Zach.
I think the pier was original. I think we actually had to build
Okay.
that. And we did it like 3 times because we were like, how would this be like that? And so yeah, I remember
Right.
that.
It's a beautiful short too. Do you want to talk at all about sort of the lighting choices and the animation choices, just visually, some of the things you brought to this film?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from the beginning, you know, thinking about it as this dance number, we knew we wanted it to feel theatrical. And so I knew, you know, thematically, I wanted everything to have a then and now feel to it. Like Brad said about the music, we wanted that soul funk feel to be something that is reminiscent of the 60s, you know, a time that Art and Dot would have grown up, but also to try to modernize it. We wanted that in the lighting as well. From the beginning, I wanted as much neon lighting as possible, because I wanted something that felt retro, but also felt kind of modern. There's lots of incredible shows like, you know, Insecure or tons of other shows that are doing this really beautiful lighting using color, lots of like very large colored lights that feel reminiscent of music videos and things like that as well. And so we wanted to kind of find this very happy place, which I think we found cinematically, where it feels kind of like a music video, but kind of old and kind of new, and try to find that sweet spot.
I'm going to try and squeeze in 2 more questions here.
Yeah.
So a quick one from Tessa. How does it feel to be a part of a Disney short, the first Disney short in 5 years? How does it feel to direct that?
It's insane. I cried the day that I got the opportunity. I cried many times throughout this, just kind of being blown away by the privilege of it and the team that you get to work with across the board, not just the amazing people on the screen, but you know, there's, you know, 100 or so people that worked on this film, and they're all incredibly talented. And to get to see all of those people work and to get to kind of direct where they go it's amazing, you know, and to be attached to a movie like Raya and the Last Dragon, it's crazy. I don't know a better word to say, because it's been overwhelming for 2 years, which is weird that it doesn't get old, but it's still every day. It's like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe that I'm on screen with Keone and Mari. You know, it's like the whole way. It's like, what is happening? And to be the first one in 5 years is it's amazing, because there's a huge legacy of incredible short films from this studio, and so it's a real privilege and an honor to get to put our little film up there on the shelf with all the rest of them.
Yeah. Gratitude is the one word I would answer that with. Just incredible gratitude and thanks for being given the privilege and opportunity to do it. Yeah.
And
So
That's faster.
one last question for all of you. We can start with Keone and Mari. What do you hope people take away from the short when they see it?
oh man, I know this may be simple or oversimplifying it, but it can be sometimes a good thing. Just, you know, love and being present with each other. I think there's so much power. You know, the other day we were walking our dogs, and there was this old couple in front of us who was matching, and just, I don't know, that's that hashtag couple goals feeling, that when you're watching them walk across the street, and Mara and I feeling that joy and that love and that warmth. And I hope that people can take that away, because I know it's still a tough time for people. And I hope that you know, all we hope to do as artists is to bring some sort of joy and warmth to people and somehow inspire their day. And yeah, we hope that people can take that away and for us as personally for dance to represent dance in a way that people haven't seen yet. So yeah.
Mari?
Yeah, I think this is something that Zach said of just like realizing what's important, that, you know, I think great art stays with you after you see it or you experience it. Like it just follows you home, and it has a little bit of a thing that is reminding you or telling you some kind of truth. And I hope that people feel that, and that they would, you know, just do simple things like, oh, I'm going to cuddle my dog for 10 minutes and I'm just going to enjoy that. Like whatever that source of love and presence that, you know, you kind of brush to the side every day, that you would take the time to do it and feel that. Yeah.
Brad?
Man, they summed it up pretty well. I think overall it's being present and exactly what they said, you know, really also being grateful and thankful for the loved ones you have. I think that often we take them for granted, frankly, that they'll be there with us, I think. And we're living through a moment in time when that's something that we shouldn't take for granted. We really should love who we're with and tell them that and care for them and enjoy every moment that we have.
And Zach, take us home.
Yeah, I mean, I think these guys have said it so well. There's a few other like small, you know, hopeful takeaways that we wanted throughout, and I think, you know, Brad started to touch on it there. You know, I said from the beginning to my wife that I hope when people watch this film, they look at their grandparents and realize that they were kids once too, and it inspires them to ask questions, you know, because that is something that I feel like I missed out on because I wasn't self-aware enough, I guess, to ask those questions while my grandparents were still around. And so I hope that inspires conversations between generations about their lived experiences and their views on life and their views on their relationships. So that's a very subtle one, but hopefully people, you know, think about their families differently.
Thank you so much. Well, I want to thank all 5 of you for being for being part of this press conference today. You can watch us again in theaters with Raya and the Last Dragon March 5th and on Disney Plus in June. Thank you all again so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.